Welcome to the Echo Sportscast Spotlight interview. Today we have Dale Hewitt, soon to be inducted into the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame. Welcome, Dale.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
What does it mean to you? You coached and taught at Algonquin for 30 years, and you had a lot of other involvement. What does it mean to you to be inducted into Hall of Fame?
First of all, I'm honored, humbled, because I look at a lot of the people that are in there, and to be able to be part of that group is certainly a very humbling experience for me. And I guess proud too. And I look back at the career I had and the involvement I had. I'm very happy about it. And
when did you retire?
I retired in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it a full 30 years?
I started in 1980. I did about 3/4 of a year as a substitute teacher. I went to Teachers College, started teaching in 82, and went right through to 2011. So I was scheduled to retire in September 2011. I left at the end of June. By leaving at the end of June, it allowed a young guy who was waiting in the background to see if he can get a job or not, starting in September. So I thought if I left a month early, rather than start the new year, then he could get a job. So,
mark of a good team player.
Yep. Yeah, I handed in my letter of resignation, and the first person I went to see was him, and I said, guess what?
Spot's open.
Spot's open for you.
Right on. Now, I only caught the tail end of your career on covering sports, but tell me some of the highlights of your coaching career.
There were many. I guess my first year involved with the team at Algonquin, I was coaching with Mike Chartrand. He was the head coach. I was the assistant coach, but I think we're kind of co-coaches, really, when you think about it. I brought a different element to the team, and we won the championship that year. When you're coaching in a smaller school like that, and the language is a barrier for who can attend the school and who can't. It makes it difficult to win championships. So that was a highlight there. Another highlight was when we won the championship in 2005 and 2006, I believe, with both my sons on the team.
Right.
And then we went on to win the NASA championship, which is the only NASA championship in the school's history in hockey. Mm-hmm. So that was a highlight.
I did get that team. I wasn't covering sports for the Nugget at the time, but I do remember that.
Yeah, we had a really good team, and then we went on to OFSA. I think we finished about fifth at OFSA. We lost the quarterfinal to the gold medalist.
Right.
And then there was a couple of championships in minor hockey too that were special. There was one in particular that really stands out to me. Might have been in 201. I think it was Adam, or was it Pee Wee? I can't even remember. But I know that it was my younger son, Darren, and that team was. There was two teams in North Bay. The other team would be beating us by 7-8 goals to start of the year, and then finally in January we beat them, and then we ended up beating them at the NOHAs, and then we ended up beating a Sudbury team that was pretty well undefeated almost all year in their league, and so it was almost like a Cinderella win. That was pretty special. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Another highlight of my coaching career was with a team back in the 90s, I think, where we might have played about 40-some games that year. I tried to add a lot to the schedule, with exhibition games and tournament stuff. Probably 40-some, 50 games. And I think we won 4 games all year. But those guys had a smile on their face at the end of the games. It didn't bother them. We worked hard. We improved. It was one of those seasons where the success can't be counted in wins. our success actually was counted, I guess, in the amount of losses we had. But it was an incredible year. It's one of the more fun years I had coaching.
Interesting how that goes, right?
Oh, it is.
It's almost that when a win would be like a championship, when it's that big of a deal, there's a different perspective and a different sort of feeling of the team that, if they win a period, that's good.
Yeah.
If someone scores that hasn't scored is good. Like all these little things, and somehow that's more enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, it was a wonderful year. I remember Al Filiatro. He's a postman here in town. He was on the team and big smile all the time. And
right.
They were just great guys. It was a great season.
Now you played hockey yourself and got a scholarship. Went down south.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
That was I went to Colby College in Maine.
Where'd you grow up, by the way?
Pardon me?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in North Bay.
And which high school did you go to?
I went to Algonquin.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ended up going back to my alma mater.
Right on.
Yeah. It's funny because my dad was a big supporter of me playing hockey, but my dad couldn't skate or anything. My brothers are the ones that built the rink when I was young and stuff. And then my dad died when I was 15, but he always stressed to me and my mom, try and go somewhere in hockey, school-wise. So I ended up getting recruited in 12th grade by Ken Mukai, who was the coach at Colby at the time, and wanted me to go that year. I said, no, I'm going to go one more year. And I played high school hockey. Mainly, I guess all my buddies were playing for the Alouettes and stuff in Sturgeon, and a couple of them for the Travers. And I stayed in high school hockey. I thought, it was a better. I had a chance to go to Colby. I didn't want to screw it up. I wanted to get good grades because, So I ended up going there. Almost lost it because they changed coaches the year I went in 1976, and Jack Kelly had come back to Colby, and he was renowned in the Eastern States. I think he led the first New England team, the New England Whalers or Hartford Whalers. I'm not sure which one was first, to the first championship. And he was a coach at Colby in the '60s, and then went on to BU, and then came back to Colby almost like he was going to retire. So all of a sudden, I think he looked at the people at Ken Mukai had recruited, and he saw a guy, 5'4", 135 pounds, and went, oh, I don't know about this, So I got a phone call and said, no money to go, And then I guess he called Butch Turcotte, and Butch told him, oh yeah, he'll be able to play for you there,
Huh.
So.
What was your style of play? What was your job on the?
I was a good skater, very quick, very agile. I was a very good playmaker. I wasn't a natural goal scorer, although I did, score a fair amount of goals too, but not for the amount of chances I got, as my big brother would tell me. He said you could do anything you wanted with the puck from your end to the far blue line.
Yeah.
He says after that, inside the blue line, he says, I didn't see too many guys with the amount of chances you had and not score.
Right.
So
brothers are too honest sometimes.
Yeah. I think I played aggressively, and I was a hard worker, and
much like your sons.
Yeah. They, the younger one, Darren, was really talented, but didn't have that. Wasn't as passionate about the sport as Nathan or myself were. I guess sum it up, I think I was a really good skater and a real good playmaker. And
when you were coaching, what was your style of coaching?
I expected the kids to give 100% all the time.
Were you a Butch Turcotte type coach?
I was no, I don't think so. I did coach with Butch 1 year. The year after they won the Air Canada Cup, I coached with Butch for 1 year, the midget team, and I was an assistant coach with them. And but I took things from Butch. Like I liked his fiery style. I didn't. I expected 100% out of the kids. I was strategic in my coaching. My practices, we prepared for whoever we were going to play. I was demanding.
Right.
My practices were, to get better. We focused a lot on skill work and stuff, and I always coached to whoever we were playing against.
Right. Well, I'll let you take a drink of your water, and my question would be, would you be able to coach in today's society?
Might find out in the fall.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
What are you going to do?
We're not going back to South next year, or probably for the subsequent years. We've been down there long enough, so I've been hanging around the rinks, and some people want me to go out and help out a little bit. So I offered that I would. What I'd like to do, I spoke to my wife about it too, because she's the one that put up with all my coaching for all those years. I'd like to work with the little kids. I'd like to be able to go out with the tykes and help the coaches coach their teams. Move around from one group to the other, and I think I have an ability, especially with the hockey school I had and stuff, and the years I worked with Butch's hockey school, I have the ability to teach kids how to skate backwards, do crossovers, little tricks and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to be able to do that this fall.
Some technical aspects?
Yeah, this winter. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to go out. I don't want to coach a team per se.
Right.
I just want to be able to go and help out. Could I getting back to your question, could I coach today? I think so. But
let me rephrase the question. Do you think you can coach today's teenagers?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
It's about adapting to the situation, and certainly it would be hard for somebody that coached aggressively and with that type of thing. But if you do it strategically and was just there are coaches that demand 110% and get it without ever raising a voice, without ever tapping a stick hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a very vocal coach on the bench, but I wasn't. It was kind of like a set of eyes for these guys, because a lot of them, would not look over their shoulder or see somebody coming, and I'd be yelling at them, trailer, or, dump it.
I remember seeing you on the bench.
Yeah. I was always trying to be that sixth set of eyes for them.
Right.
Because you see the whole thing from the bench.
Yeah.
So and I almost sometimes yell at them, to get into position. You got a trailer, or, dump and chase, or hit the trailer. So then they look over their shoulder and you see the guy coming, and it's stuff like that. But I think I could today. I think there's a learning curve. I think I'd have to. The game's changed a lot. I remember how we ran a power play and penalty killing and stuff. It's not even close to what it is today.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Very much, right?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be great to have a Hall of Famer in with the Tykes showing them stuff and coach other teams.
I hope they allow me to do that. I might have to take a couple courses and stuff for that.
Yeah.
I know that they have certain requirements and stuff, so I might have to take the laces out of my skates and put Velcro so I can put them on.
Well, yeah, adapting.
Yeah, adapting. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping to be able to do that this winter.
So this Saturday we're going to have that celebration for the Hall of Fame inductees and the award winners, you've said that you're humbled and it's an honor. what do you hope to? Do you know others that are going to be there? It should be a good celebration of your achievement so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of the guys that coach with me that are going to be there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and
who are some of those guys?
Chris Kendrick, Scott Hike. I wanted Gary Merkley there. He was a manager for me for a number of years, but he had just had surgery, so he's unable to attend. Todd Robillard, he was our goalie coach. I think I heard that John Weber was going to be there as well. John and I,
old Trojan.
Yeah, we coached against each other at high school, but because he was involved with the Trojans for a while, and but we also coached a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
Where he had a daughter the same age as my youngest son, and his oldest son was the same age as my oldest son. So John would take head coach one team, I would head coach the other team, but we'd be each other's assistant. But I think we're more than that. I think we're co-coaches together.
Right.
So that was kind of neat. So I think he'll be there, and I think Tim, I coached with Tim Lowe as well, some hockey. He'll be there. Obviously, he's part of that committee there. And I'm not sure if there's who else is going to be there. I'm going to have my wife there. Obviously, she was a big team member.
Yeah. I find that Algonquin coaches have an intensity that's a little bit higher than some of the other coaches, other teams, schools. I'm not sure what they put in the water there, but they're and it's not it's a quiet intensity. Like I've coached against baseball. I've seen them in soccer and football, like Ryan Davian, and like they exude competitive nature, but not necessarily not big yellers, and not necessarily, but very intense competitors. Is that a good fair estimate?
I think I thought for years that we had a lot of really good coaches at the school.
Yeah.
For a small school, like our cross country program was well taken care of. Our track program was well taken care of. Ryan's doing a wonderful job with the football program.
Mm-hmm.
He's old school.
Yeah.
There was I don't want to name too many people because I don't want to miss somebody.
Right.
But our basketball programs were very successful and well coached. The hockey program I hope was well coached in those years and even afterwards. I just think a lot of them old school, and I think as much as I watch Butch because he was a teacher at our school, and I learned from him. I learned from Jack Kelly at Colby. I think some of those teachers might have learned from me, my intensity that I brought to the table, and I think Ryan's learning from them.
Right.
It just goes down the line.
I've noticed that, a real handoff.
Yeah.
And teamwork.
Yeah.
As far as the coaching staff, the teachers are.
Yeah, we had a really good bunch of teacher coaches.
How important is sports in a student's life?
I think it's important because I think it teaches you discipline, it teaches you teamwork, it teaches you how to work with others. It teaches you that it's a small sample of what you're going to be facing in the workforce when you're later on. That on a team, you may not get along with everybody, and everybody might not think your way, but for that moment when you're playing, you have to work together. Although your way of doing things might be different in other parts of your life, it teaches you teamwork. It teaches you how to work with people that necessarily don't have the same mindset and stuff. So I think it's important, and I'm not sure that today there's as many kids playing sports as there was in high schools. We used to have big track teams, and you see some schools dropping out of football or dropping out of hockey and coming back into hockey and stuff like that. And I think it'd be nice to get it back. But, again, society's changing. Everybody's on their phones. A lot of kids want to work because they want money, more so than in the past, to be able to buy things, to be able to do things. And but I think it's important,
Yeah, I think so too. I think today it's hard to actually judge because there's so many different sports that are actually available to the students.
Yeah.
And they may be involved with something outside the school and the clubs. There's way more of those now.
That was going to be my next point.
Yeah.
There's club sport badminton.
Yeah.
That didn't exist when I was in high school. There's city basketball. Is there not young football too? Football for young kids.
Yeah, there's football. The Bulldogs have a program where they can play during the summer as well. And there's a young football at the beginning of schools. So what used to be grade 7, 8, there's football for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they had football in grade 8 here before. I think they only started in high school.
That didn't exist. When I was in high school, the first football you were introduced to was junior football, and for the most part, grade 9s didn't play.
Yeah.
It was more the grade 10s.
So the landscape's really changed on the options and also the schools and the demographic. You're among the boomers, so it was the biggest demographic going through. So you would have the most people playing, right?
Right.
So you had those choices. There's expenses too, and once a football program like Chippewa's, hopefully that this starts them off again. But once it's down, then you have to re-equipment, reorganize, and make sure you can attract those students. And with amalgamation of schools, it's real tough.
Yeah, and you have to have dedicated coaches. That will attract the kids.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard for a lot of schools because the teaching is different now, right?
Yep.
In the requirements, and if both members of the family have to work, then you have one more thing that takes you away from after-school sports.
Yeah, that's true. And I just look at the schools that are successful are the ones that have dedicated coaches that go the extra mile.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
We're going to wrap up in a little bit, and I want to make sure that you can share your thoughts and feelings about sports and your career with the North Bay viewers. Like North Bay obviously supported you through your years, and what would you like to tell people about sports, the honor you're about to get, and what you hope to see in the future?
I thinking about this Saturday and thinking about what the speech and what I wanted to say, and then I kept thinking about the years that I was coaching and how I went about it, and there's one year that I had at college that I think has a lot to do with how I approached my coaching career. I was quite successful there. I did well. I was named to the All-Maine All-Star team one year, and I had a year where it was tough. I broke a thumb and fractured a shoulder and stuff like that. But my last year, my senior year, should have been probably a stellar year, and I kind of lost interest for a variety of reasons. That to this day, I tell myself I had control over that, and I kind of mailed in the season that last year. I had points. Most of the guys in the team would have been happy to have the totals that I had, but I wasn't. And I told myself, as I got older, I said, you kind of, I mean, I didn't mail it in, I guess. I just didn't perform like I should have or could have. And I told myself when I started coaching, I looked back, I said, that was a lost opportunity for me. I felt it was. And I said, I will always tell my kids, you're not going to get this year back. You're playing high school hockey or you're playing baseball, you're not going to get this back. And so don't, this year won't come back. So don't make it not be a lost opportunity. Take advantage of the fact that you're here. Take advantage of the fact that you have a coach that cares about you. Take advantage of the fact that you're able to play the game, and give it your all. Leave it all on the ice, leave it all on the ball field, leave it all on the football field, leave it all on the basketball court. Just thrive, learn, and keep your attitude positive throughout the whole thing. And let's have a great year, and that's what I'd like to. I guess my message is not for all coaches out there, just make your athletes realize that this is an opportunity they have, and make the best of it, make the most of it.
What an excellent metaphor for life as well, any endeavor, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for this.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
We're going to see you on Saturday. Source for Sports has got a table, and we're going to be covering it.
No table, it's sold out.
Oh, no?
No, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to
Paul's jumping
apologize
in.
for being
Hi,
late.
Paul. How are you?
Great to see you.
Yeah.
And my excuse for not being here is as a hockey parent in the midst of tryouts. So certainly something that you can appreciate and have been through the many, many times.
Been down that road a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 kids all in tryouts, and life's crazy right now for all the hockey parents that are out there. It is, it's like a game of Survivor, I think it feels like, and there's definitely lots of parents and kids on edge. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I remember there was times,
Yeah.
and you leave the rink and you're not always the most popular person with everybody.
It's hard. I've been on the receiving end of being cut myself as a kid. I've had to cut kids, and it's really hard. And you kind of hope that the kids that you maybe cut can develop that maybe chip on their shoulder, that I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you. And I would encourage that. That was the message I gave to the kids was, this is a setback now, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be your story. You can make it different from here, which I think I kind of walked in on the end of talking about how you took that as a coaching philosophy. So.
Yeah, I did. And again, when if a kid gets cut, I mean, he's probably got a better opportunity where he's going to go next to improve his skills. He'll get more time on the ice. He'll be in better situations if it's hockey, and he might come back better and stronger the next year.
Yeah. Or even create a new interest and more time to play a different sport and find that you love that more too. So, anyways, it's a wild time. And
I'll share with you guys one other thing. I the first team I ever went out for.
Yeah.
I was 5 years old. I wasn't allowed to go out because the coach didn't want me because I was too small. So I had to go play at a different playground.
Yeah.
Because it was playground hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was, yeah. And my brother told me that the other day. He says, yeah, you were cut from the first team. You were too small, so they had to bring you to a different playground. I don't remember it. But
that's a great attitude too, though. It's like, if somebody doesn't want me here, somebody will want me somewhere else. And I can go find that. And I still have a chip on my shoulder for that team that I got cut from in Pee Wee that I thought I should have been on, but it's good. It's a good, if you can use that fuel in the right way, it can be a good motivator to make you get up and do the extra and stuff. And
that's true.
That attitude never actually helped me in hockey, but it's been a thing that I've been able to find, and I think it really does. Like, I think about that when something doesn't go the way I want, and maybe that's part of the reason why I'm a person that doesn't take no very well for an answer. Is like, well, there's got to be another way to do this. So, yeah.
Anytime I've been cut or fired, and there's been several times, I've always considered it an opportunity to prove the person wrong and go do it anyways. Yeah. So I take no as in, no thank you.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Life's full of peaks and valleys. And the valleys sometimes are getting cut from a team. The valleys sometimes are, banging up your car or something, I mean, there's...
and
sometimes self-inflicted, sometimes just happenstance and makes you feel that the world's against you, but it's that it's like the grist for the mill of proving people wrong and proving yourself right?
Yep.
So you need that, I think, peppered in with some achievements.
Yeah. And yeah, sometimes the coaches are wrong because they're humans too, and they make mistakes and see different things. So yeah, you can be right in the fact that you didn't get what you wanted, but that and $1.90, I guess, will get you a cup of coffee. So
Just about that, yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for joining us, Paul.
Well, hey, I thought I would come in and change up the format a little
Well,
bit.
it's very good. No, it's cool. And that's the way life and things go. You just keep moving along and adapt, right? Like you say.
That's right.
It's a matter of adapting to the situation at the moment.
We're going to adapt to the Hall of Fame dinner, and we may be standing in the back row because everybody wants to be there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like sheer chaos and trying to
It would have been the
coordinate.
second time I was able to sit down and have dinner if we would have had a table.
I was trying to get them to open the stage up top and make like some sort of press gallery or something, but apparently there's a safety concern over us falling off, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like the seating arrangements at the Davidi Club are very, very
You can't break the seating arrangements there.
I guess it's gonna be a full house.
Yeah, it'd be full house, always is. Lots of people show up to support people like yourself that are being inducted. And it's a great night of sharing what it took for you to achieve what you achieve.
Yeah.
And so much humility up there, because everybody that does make a speech ends up thanking the people that helped them get there. And that's a very touching moment. And sometimes it's the only time that they have an opportunity to thank them. So,
And I think a dinner like that, and I think an awards dinner like that, is an opportunity. And I've been there before a few times for people who are getting awards or inducted, and I did receive an award there years back for hockey. And what amazes me is when you look around that room, and there are so many people who do so much for the city, and you kind of say, geez, there's that many people involved in helping kids in sports in this city, and it's amazing to see, to what extent,
Yes.
all these people are there, and you look around, and you say, okay, I know what that guy's done, and I know what that lady's done, and you go, holy jeez, there's a lot of people who've give a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way to celebrate it, and it's also, I think, a great way for people to learn some history. And I think for someone like myself, not being here but having been here for a while, I never seem to stop learning, whether it's stopping in for the coffee talks or having these interviews. It's been a great way, and that's the best way for us to learn how we can continue to build on what's been done in the past and make the sports and the events in the city even better.
Yeah, what I think they should have is a dinner for the spouses and partners of the people who do put in a lot of time, because they're if you're at the rink 28 days out of 30, then someone's
Minding the home front,
somebody's doing
sure
something for you somewhere else. Your duties at home aren't being fulfilled, by yourself, so someone else is doing it for you. And that's you gotta have a team member there as well.
well, maybe that's something we can get onto.
Well, we'll make sure that we have a table.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap it up, and thank you very much, Dale, and congratulations on your induction. And what I find from these dinners is that it's so inspiring, seeing how thick the network needs to be to do what we do with sports in the community. And most of the people that leave those dinners are thinking, that's fuel for them to continue and to do more. Right, so that's what these inductions are all about: is to show people that it's okay to be dedicated to sports, and it's much needed. Right? So,
for sure. It's amazing what everybody has done.
Yeah,
and continues to do.
So thank you. This has been another Echo Sportscast Spotlight interview.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Please like and share and comment if you can. A little bit of congratulations for Dale Hewitt and the other induction people and awards. It goes a long way. Have a good day.